Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, and thanks for listening. This is Moments of Clarity. My name's Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today, by popular demand, we are asking someone to come back because there's a little more information we're going to be discussing between what a narcissist really looks like and a man-child and different types of toxic relationships. But before I introduce my guest, I want to say hi to Ed behind the glass.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And staying safe and well and still coming to work, and appreciate that. Okay, so my guest today is a specialist, and she's a relationship coaching and counseling specialist for couples and singles desiring to create safe and intimate marriages and fearless, loving relationships. And today we're going to be talking about what are the traits of a narcissist and what are the traits of a man-child and what to look for in helping our loved ones have successful relationships. And I want to welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Jianny Adamo. Hi, Jianny.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing good.
It's so nice to be back on the show.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. And we've been looking forward to it. I've actually had quite a few people saying we should have her back because I think this is more common than people realize. And kind of
it is.
Wondering, they're in a tough relationship, they love somebody, they don't know what to do, and they can't quite understand what's going on. Before we start, I want to welcome callers to call in 866-826-1340. Once again, 866-826-1340. We're on Facebook Live at Tiffany Werner and also on YouTube Live at Tan Talk Radio Network. And if the internet lags, everyone is on the internet lately, so apologize for that in advance. So Jianny, let's see. Let's start. Well, for those that missed maybe your first show, just like a quick segment of where you found your moment of clarity and got passionate about this.
Well, for me, as you already know, I am a licensed mental health counselor here in the state of Florida. I'm also licensed in the state of New Jersey. And I first turned to psychology and decided I was going to change my career in my late 20s, early 30s, because I was married. Mm-hmm. And the relationship was not going anywhere. I had wanted a family. I had wanted to keep, growing as a couple, and my ex did not. So we were very much in two different places when it came to family.
Hey, Jianny, is there a different place? Wait, hold on. I'm going to interrupt because it's kind of getting a little bit of feedback on your voice, and I know I can hear it clearer before. So if there's a different spot you were.
Oh, really? Is it any better?
A little bit louder, yeah, but it's kind of a little bit feedback. But I don't think we can do much about it, but I can understand what you're saying. This is better.
Okay. Is it better, or is it still you prefer the other way? Because I changed my positioning on the phone.
It's better than what it was. Yes, they're fine.
Okay. All right. So I ended up changing my career, trying to save my marriage, and trying to then figure out how do I make this work and how do I help others. At the end of the day, I got my degree, started practicing, and I realized quickly that we were just not well matched, and that I needed to move on. After we obviously had tried marriage counseling, couples counseling. So at the end of the day, I realized we were not a good partner, and we were not in a good partnership. Then after that, I ended up in a relationship with a narcissist. So my ex-husband was not a narcissist, but the man I ended up in a relationship after him was. And that relationship left me very traumatized, and I did not know. Prior to then, I really did not understand the signs of what a narcissist was. Mm-hmm. I did not know what the difference was because I thought he was a man-child, by the way, and that's in my book, which is called From Love Trauma to Fearless Love. I thought I was involved with the man-child at that time, so I figured, well, he'll eventually grow up. Because man-children do grow up slowly, and they do have the capacity for growth. But a narcissist usually does not evolved that much. There's not a lot of change in their personality. That's why they're labeled with a personality disorder.
Right.
So I made a huge mistake when I analyzed the man I had been involved with as thinking that he was a man-child, and in truth, he was actually a narcissist, and therefore I ended up very traumatized. The trauma lasted about 4 years for me to heal, and then I ended up writing my book, which became a #1 and released on Amazon.
Good for you.
And so my moments of clarity was, wow, there's a huge difference between a man-child and a narcissist, and people need to know what that is. So that's our discussion today. And I do get a lot of clients, a lot of women who will call me or come into my practice, and they will be like, oh, my God, I am married to a narcissist. I need, I need counseling. I need to figure this out. Or they'll come in together, and she thinks that he's a narcissist. And I let them know, once I'm done with my assessment, I will let you know if I feel like he's a narcissist or he's an immature man who just needs some skill sets to grow and evolve.
Because you married a mommy or so.
Yeah, because they're usually looking for a mom.
Right.
And they usually find strong women who are independent and can take care of a lot because they need to kind of bond with their partner as a mother-child connection.
Where they don't have to take the lead of the family and be the lead support. So let's talk a little bit what a narcissist personality disorder actually is.
Perfect. Yeah, so let's start differentiating.
Okay.
So we're all on the same page. So what exactly is a narcissist? So a narcissist, first of all, gets a personality disorder diagnosis because they're not people who are very introspective. They don't have insight to themselves. They believe that everything that's going on wrong in their lives usually is the problem outside of them.
Someone else's fault.
Not that they're contributing.
Right.
Somebody else's fault. They're always blaming and not taking responsibility. They feel like all the problems are you, the partner, you, the boss, or the coworkers, the schoolmates, whatever it is. They're never usually looking at themselves as part of the problem. So there's a lot of blaming.
And lack of empathy as well. Lack of trying to see it from someone else's point of view or caring to. Thinking that
that's correct.
I don't think with the narcissist personality disorder they're capable of being empathetic and putting themselves in someone else's shoes and seeing how their actions are affecting them. Not even if they try, they don't have that capability.
No, and even when they hurt you, like you said, there's no compassion or empathy. So you may be hurting because of their words or the behavior that hurt you, and they cannot apologize. And if they do, it's just to shut you up and keep the train moving.
And they'll turn it around.
They're not.
They'll say, you might be hurt, but you should have never done this in the first place, rather than apologizing for hurting their feelings.
Yeah, shift blaming. So they will shift blame it back on you. So no matter what you say, it's always your fault. Other traits of personality is that there is this chronic thinking that they're better than you, that they're better than everybody else, whether it's in fantasy in their head, that they're always like in this ideal world, or in behavior by being condescending, putting you down, and labeling you, name-calling you, and only hanging out with people of status. They usually do not want to hang out with people beneath them, so they will pay lots of money for being in groups and organizations and clubs that will help them to feel like they're big and successful, so because they only want to hang out with people of status and power. So you will see that kind of behavior.
But there's some that can't afford to do that, and that they're still narcissistic, but will still condescend those around them to make themselves feel at that level, even if they're not financially and successfully at that level.
That's correct. Yeah. So there's also there's also an excessive need for admiration, adoration, affirmation beyond what you can ever provide. It's insatiable. You can never praise them enough, admire them enough, recognize them enough. You can be exhausted, and they still need more of this. It's a continuous, hunger for admiration and adoration. They're also very entitled, so they can buy what they want to buy, spend as much money as they want to spend, but you have to be controlled, and you have to live under a certain budget that they themselves are not under, because they can go buy the expensive computer, the expensive bike, the expensive car, the expensive house, or especially if you need to go and you're going to go buy a house, they're going to want to get like the biggest and the best house that you may not be able to afford, but they will manipulate a parent or someone else to co-sign, and you'll just show up and you're like, what is going on here? Because you're not even aware, because obviously they manipulate and they control. So there's a lot of things that are happening that you don't even understand until it's smacking you in the face because of all their manipulative tactics to try to get what they want to get out of their life.
Right, and then
because
go on. I was just going to say is a lot of people that encounter or come into a relationship with someone like this, they don't see it happening because it takes a while to understand you're being manipulated. A lot of people don't. We're not psychic. We're not able to read somebody. Most of us believe what people tell us. Most of us believe things that we want to believe, and it takes a while to start seeing toxic behavior because it starts repeating itself. Some people make mistakes and we forgive them for that. But then you start to see the same mistake over and over and over and over again. And that's when you start to see the patterns of behavior that are toxic or negative. And a lot of people feel bad that they don't see it coming like right away. But I mean, it's hard to until you at least know them a little bit. Us professionals, it even takes a few sessions to understand exactly what we're looking at, when it comes to this severe of a personality, because it's very manipulative. So, they can be very charming and cunning right up front, and then you start to see it after a little while, especially even with experts that are looking for it. It takes a second. And so a lot of people feel very, very naive or pathetic or, man, I should have seen that. They feel like duped after putting up with it for years. And I want to reassure anyone that's listening to this that can relate to this, it's not your fault. And it doesn't mean anything towards your intelligence level or anything like that. It means you're hopeful and giving and empathetic and courageous to keep trying to believe in someone and give them second chances. I think that people see that backwards.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In addition to all of this, there are smear campaigns, there are devaluations, there is nagging. Anytime you decide that you don't want to submit to what the narcissist is demanding, wanting, or trying to manipulate you into, you have all hell to pay.
Right.
So it's not like you could just say no and walk away from an argument, or you say, no, I'm not going to buy that car or whatever. There is all these tactics that just come at you to just deteriorate whatever position you've got going on, to make you ultimately just say, fine, have it your way, because you cannot take so many arguments. You cannot take so many punches to your stomach, literally or figuratively, because all these devaluations, all these smear campaigns, all the nagging and complaining that goes on, you want to live in peace.
Right.
A normal human being just wants to live in peace.
Totally.
We want to live in harmony.
We get kind of sick of the fighting. And that's also called gaslighting. And then, so gaslighting is an analogy I use. It's like a sleeping tiger, and it's sound asleep, and someone's poking at it. And finally the tiger goes, "Wow," and then they're like, oh, look at what you did, crazy tiger. Like, it's trying to get them to get somebody to react and then blame them for the reacting. And just
that's correct.
And then they'll follow through with love bombing to try to make up for it. When someone's had enough and is finally ready to set boundaries, that's when you get the gifts and the kindness that you fell in love with in the first place, probably the extra attention, the compliments that aren't always there, that, so they eventually settle back in their normal ways. But those are things that they try to control people with.
And that's also called like the idealization and the evaluation cycle, the they basically they pull you into a victim perpetrator cycle. So there's that romance period and everything's hunky dory, and yes,